Hello and welcome to day 195 in the Not Alone Today chronological Bible reading plan. Today we are reading 2 Kings chapter 24 verses 1 to 4 and then Jeremiah chapter 35. We are still in the English Standard Version.
2 Kings chapter 24. In his days, Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon came up, and Jehoiakim became his servant for 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him. And the Lord sent against him bands of the Chaldeans, and bands of the Syrians, and bands of the Moabites, and bands of the Ammonites, and sent them against Judah to destroy it, according to the word of the Lord that he spoke by his servants, the prophets. Surely this came upon Judah at the command of the Lord, to remove them out of his sight, for the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he had done, and also for the innocent blood that he had shed. For he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, and the Lord would not pardon.
Jeremiah 35. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. Go to the house of the Rechabites and speak with them, and bring them to the house of the Lord, into one of the chambers. Then offer them wine to drink. So I took Jazaniah the son of Jeremiah, son of Abazinia, and his brothers and all his sons, and the whole house of the Rechabites. I brought them to the house of the Lord, into the chamber of the sons of Anan, the son of Igdaliah, the man of God, which was near the chamber of the officials, above the chamber of Maaseiah, the son of Shallum, keeper of the threshold. Then I set before the Rechabites pitchers full of wine and cups, and I said to them, Drink wine. But they answered, We will drink no wine. For Jonadab the son of Rechab, our father, commanded us, You shall not drink wine, neither you nor your sons, forever. You shall not build a house. You shall not sow seed. You shall not plant or have a vineyard. But you shall live in tents all your days, that you may live many days in the land where you sojourn. We have obeyed the voice of Jonadab the son of Rechab, our father, in all that he commanded us, to drink no wine all our days, ourselves, our wives, our sons, or our daughters, and not to build houses to dwell in. We have no vineyard or field or seed, but we have lived in tents and have obeyed and done all that Jonadab our father commanded us. But when Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon came up against the land, we said, Come, and let us go to Jerusalem, for fear of the army of the Chaldeans and the army of the Syrians. So we are living in Jerusalem.
Then the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Go and say to the people of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, Will you not receive instruction and listen to my words? Declares the Lord. The command that Jonadab the son of Rechab gave to his sons, to drink no wine, has been kept, and they drink none to this day, for they have obeyed their father's command. I have spoken to you persistently, but you have not listened to me. I have sent to you all my servants, the prophets, sending them persistently, saying, Turn now, every one of you, from his evil way, and amend your deeds, and do not go after other gods to serve them. Then you shall dwell in the land that I gave to you and to your fathers. But you did not incline your ear or listen to me. The sons of Jonadab, the son of Rechab, have kept the command that their father gave them. But this people has not obeyed me. Therefore, thus says the Lord, the God of hosts, the God of Israel, Behold, I am bringing upon Judah and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem all the disaster that I have pronounced against them, because I have spoken to them, and they have not listened. I have called to them, and they have not answered.
But to the house of the Rechabites, Jeremiah said, Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Because you have obeyed the command of Jonadab your father, and kept all his precepts, and done all that he commanded you. Therefore thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Jonadab the son of Rechab shall never lack a man to stand before me. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Today we have read two passages. In 2 Kings chapter 24, verse 1 to 4, we read what would be the second wave of the invasion of the Babylonians. Earlier on, we have read about the Battle of Carchemish, where Babylon conquered Pharaoh Necho of Egypt, and by so doing brought Judah under his domain, sort of, by imposing Jehoiakim as their new leader. But here in 2 Kings 24, 1 to 4, we saw the next stage of that invasion, in which Jehoiakim became Nebuchadnezzar's servant for 3 years, but then decided to rebel against him, and of course that would lead on to bands of Chaldeans, which are still the Babylonians, and bands of the Syrians, and bands of the Moabites and the Ammonites, all of them being sent by the Lord. It's an act of judgment against Judah to destroy it, just as the Lord has spoken. In Jeremiah 35, we come across the story of the Rechabites and their obedience. This story is taken alongside what we read in 2 Kings, because part of the things that the sons of the Rechabites mentioned towards the end of their narrative is the fact that Nebuchadnezzar had already invaded the land as of this point, and so that's why they relocated to Jerusalem. But the point of their story is the fact that they obeyed their father, even though he gave them some really, one could even say, weird instructions around not building houses, not drinking any wine, not sowing any seeds, living in tents all their days. And they obeyed that instruction to the letter, so much so that when Jeremiah asked them to drink wine, they refused. And God used that as an object lesson for the Israelites to say, if a man could instruct his children and they obeyed him so diligently and so committedly, with such loyalty, why is it that Judah and Israel will not listen to the words of the Lord? In any case, for the reward of their loyalty and obedience, the Lord then said that the house of Jonadab, the son of Rechab, will never lack a man to stand before God. And that's the summary of what we read. Let's see what stood out to us from both passages. And what stood out to you?
In chapter 24, I find it instructive, the part that we read, how that all these things that are happening to Judah was at the command of God. And the last part of verse 4 then says that the Lord would not pardon.
Yeah.
And that really shook me, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's striking as well that it traces, I mean, if you read just these 4 verses, you would think that really what God is bringing judgment against them for are the sins of Manasseh. And so you might want to wonder, why is it that God had waited all of these years to bring judgment for the sins of Manasseh? But the reality is that those sins of Manasseh did not stay or end with Manasseh. They continued to be perpetrated generation upon generation, tenure upon tenure of their kings, up until now, as we have seen again and again in the prophecies of Jeremiah, condemning idolatry and showing the stupidity and the folly of worshipping idols that are literally made by human hands in that sense. Yeah. How about chapter 35? What stood out to you in Jeremiah 35?
It's just the word that this version used, persistently. However, God has tried to reach them, and they in turn, they've persistently not listened. And it just portrays to me how habits are formed. It's just in the little that before you know it, it's a mold stacked against you. So but the persistence did not just start all of a sudden, but it was from the subtle, steady incline of their refusal to listen to God, that He now would not pardon them. What about you?
It's the pronouncement of God through Jeremiah to the Rechabites, when God says in the very last verse that we read, verse 19, Jonadab the son of Rechab shall never lack a man to stand before me. And I found that quite striking, that these people that were not even from a lineage of priests in that sense, but just because their father gave them some specific instructions and the children adhered to those instructions with a high degree of loyalty, the Lord decides to make them a model, a an object lesson, but then also rewards their loyalty by saying that they will never lack a man to stand before him, which usually means, that's the phrase that God uses to describe the priestly responsibility of the Levites, who are set apart so that they can stand before the Lord to minister in that sense. So I just find it quite interesting how God took notes of what they are doing and decided to call it out and also reward them for it. And we could see the fulfillment of that, for instance, in Nehemiah chapter 3, verse 14, where a Rechabite by the name Malchiah was mentioned to be serving as a leader. These are the generation of the people that returned to Jerusalem, to Judah, to rebuild the temple, to rebuild the walls, and to begin to live therein again in the time of the restoration of God's people. And we begin to see that actually Rechabites were found operating as priests and serving as leaders in that context. Interesting. So thank you for joining us for day 195. We'll flip the page again on day 196. As we continue reading, we'll be back fully in Jeremiah, reading a couple of chapters again. But till then, just remember,
you're not alone.
Today, God bless you.